Wow, it's cold in here. You can't see anything. You're wrapped up in plastic and can't move. But then light illuminates everything in front of you. You look around and realize you're inside a refrigerator, and your reflection off the plastic reveals that you're a hot dog. You remember your name is Furter, Frank Furter. Canned and bottled goods are all around you. A human hand reaches out and grabs a bottle of soda and closes the fridge. It's dark again. Everything is silent inside, except for the cooling fan. You can't remember how you ended up in here. You try to escape from your plastic surrounding, but it's almost impossible to cut through. You look around you and find a small, sharp object and begin rubbing the plastic to cut it open. And you're free. You climb over to the bulb at the back of the fridge and fiddle with light until you can see. You realize that you can feel emotions and sensations like sadness, happiness, and anger. You rub your stomach and think that you could go for a grilled cheese sandwich right now. Right in front of you are cheddar cheese and toast bread. But for some reason, you don't have an appetite anymore. Suddenly, the fridge opens, and the hand reaches out and grabs you and a bunch of other stuff. It's lifting you in the air as you watch the fridge close. The human carries you to the kitchen counter and puts you next to some utensils. As he prepares bread, you try to move and wiggle around, but it doesn't work out. The person turns his head towards you and realizes that you're moving. He pauses and looks closer at you. "Hey, don't eat me! Please!" He freaks out and tosses everything around. Then he runs outside and throws you away in his trash can on the front yard. A garbage truck drives by and collects the trash with you in it. You get inside and swim in the garbage and other gross stuff. Some cockroaches crawl around and other random objects slam into you. You're dumped into a landfill surrounded by even more trash. You wake up next to a soda can that's carved up from the outside. You roll next to it and slip inside, so it acts as a bodysuit. You're safe inside for now. You notice a plastic doll with removable limbs. You roll over there and figure out a way to attach those limbs to the can, and boom, you're set. You can now move around in your protective case. You take your first step slowly until you get the hang of it. You walk around and find out that you're not too far from town. You look above you and see a bunch of seagulls flying around. They notice you moving and swoop down to eat you. You make a run for it, dodging all kinds of obstacles. You run through pipes and go under some junk while the birds keep an eye out for any movement. You know it's not safe up there, so you decide to chill under a huge trash pile. You gather some materials and fashion up a grappler made out of a paperclip and some rubber bands. The smell is unbearable. Looks like a group of rats and mice got hungry and are looking for food. You try to hide, but it's too late. They start chasing you. With your plastic limbs and aluminum suit, you zigzag your way around the trash dump. You're climbing up and down and shifting left and right. You make it out of the trash pile and back on the surface. You see another trash pile nearby. The birds notice you again and swoop down once more for a snack. Meanwhile, the rats emerge from under the trash and chase you down. You use your grappler to shoot it across and swing over there. You escape from the rats and the birds and land on another pile of trash. You know you can't outrun your foes, so you do some fancy dodge work and jump into a pile of cans to disguise yourself. The predators zip past you in the wrong direction. Suddenly, the ground below you starts moving, and you look around and find yourself on a large boat that's transferring all the trash to an island. You use the grappler and launch it out of the dump into the city. You walk around and realize how tired you are. But there's no time for anything because before you know it, you're being chased by hungry cats. You're running in the middle of the city between the legs of people walking around. You find a tuna can lid and use it as a snowboard and slide down the sidewalk like an Olympic athlete. The cats are gaining on you, so you slide onto the street dodging cars and bikes. Some people notice a hot dog in a can sliding down and think it's probably just a toy. You end up in the park after losing the kitties. It's nighttime. and you find a small hole in the park to seek shelter in. It starts raining, and the hole begins to flood in. You get out and try to find somewhere else to go. Good thing your suit can is keeping you dry. You walk through the wet mud and end up in the back of a supermarket. It's open, so you sneak inside and head to the towel section. You dry yourself up and find another place to rest. You scout ahead until you end up in the section with the same hot dogs you were contained in. You climb up the shelf and notice they aren't alive like you. Some people are walking by, so you duck at the end of the shelf and hide. Deep in there, you find a community of walking food: salami, broccoli, breadsticks, and other stuff. They welcome you inside and show you around. They explain that you're a discarded food item that's not for sale, but someone has bought you by accident. You can't remember anything, but they know who you are. They show you around and tell you how this community functions. When the supermarket closes, they all get out of hiding and walk around the main aisles. They marvel at your tin can bodysuit and plastic limbs. You share your story around a small campfire of how you survive the garbage dump in the city. Many of them have never even left the supermarket before, but you know there is a better place out there instead of hiding in the shadows. You warn them of birds and kitties, but you got them so hyped they can't wait to explore the outside world. You gather all the discarded foods and give an inspiring speech about finding a new home. After a while, most of the foods are wearing makeshift bodysuits to protect themselves and to properly move around. Since the whole place is closed from the outside, you lead the pack to the manager's office where you find a spare key hanging near the coat hanger. Your new food friends and you stack on top of each other, get the key, and make your way to the main door. But the keyhole is too far up. You gather some cans and build a pyramid of them to climb on top. You finally manage to get the door open and make your way out to freedom. The rest of the gang follows you. They feel the fresh air for the first time ever. You take them to the edge of the city. You set camp in a golf park and then keep going until you're all in the countryside. You find a small stream and create a proper settlement where all the foods live free and comfortable. You develop a good underground system to avoid anything on the surface looking for something to eat. You're taking a small hike gathering resources for the camp when you spot a man dressed in a hazmat suit chasing the food in the settlement. You duck and hide, but a scientist spots you from above and places you in a Ziploc bag. He tosses you in a van as evidence and drives off.